Kanye West cancels Coachella, Will Smith talent agency is considering dropping him, and Jake Paul attacks an NBA mascot. That's right, we've got ourselves a triple header news story for you today. I'm your host Johnny Rogers, and I've got everything you need to know. First things first, we're talking about Kanye West canceling his Coachella experience, but stick around to find out why Jake Paul decided to attack an NBA mascot. According to a source that confirmed with Variety magazine, Kanye decided to pull out of his scheduled appearance at the Coachella festival. He was scheduled to appear on the closing night of the two-weekend festival, which runs from April 15th to the 17th and April 22nd to the 24th. Although his reason for canceling was not immediately clear, a source also told the media outlet that he had not rehearsed or prepared at all for his appearance. Hopefully the reason that he's canceling his spot on the show isn't just because he was unprepared though. If you recall, we did a story the other day about how he also skipped out on the Grammys. According to Page 6, they exclusively reported that Kanye had told his ex-wife Kim Kardashian that he was not going to be attending the award show because he was going away to get help, and would not be making any public appearances or inflammatory social media statements. A representative for Kanye also told the outlet that he is now more than ever committed to a healthy co-parenting relationship with Kim and is focused on raising their beautiful children. However, on the flip side of things, Kanye was dropped from the Grammys lineup after they became concerned about his online behavior, and a petition to cancel his Coachella performance hit 49,000 signatures. A representative for Kanye confirmed with Variety that they had received a phone call late one evening letting them know that he would be removed from the lineup of performers. Kanye has actually performed at Coachella 5 times in the past, and in 2011 he was the first rapper to ever close the festival out. However, with his recent behavior online, like I said, more than 49,000 people signed this petition on change.org with the hopes that Coachella organizers would drop West from their Sunday headlining spot. In the description, the organizer writes, "We have watched Kanye harass, manipulate, and hurt Kim, Pete, and others for over a year now. No one seems to want to stand up to him, and the ones that do, he puts under fire as well. Most recently, he has been threatening actual bodily harm on others. This is ridiculous that he is allowed to freely do this. Coachella, along with other brand names that are still working with him, should be ashamed of themselves and should not be giving him any more of a platform. Please sign and share." In other news though, let's talk about Will Smith potentially getting fired from his talent agency for slapping Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars. The bosses at Will Smith's talent agency, Creative Artists Agency, or CAA for short, are split right now over what to do with Will Smith. After Will slapped Chris, CAA chiefs Brian Lord, Richard Lovett, and Kevin Huvane were now put in a terrible spot. They had one of their biggest stars now becoming a pariah, despite just winning one of their industry's biggest awards. Brian apparently wanted to remove Will from the CAA roster, while Richard Lovett wanted to keep him on board. However, insiders told media outlets that the entire situation had left them all pretty frazzled. But apparently, even though they were all split on what to do, Lovett ended up convincing them to let Will remain on the roster for now. I'm guessing they're just waiting to see if the news cycle will change enough for people to finally forget about this incident. But another thing that impacted the agency's decision to discuss taking action was their prior associations with disgraced producer Harvey Weinstein, a negative connection that the board is desperately trying to distance themselves from. Obviously, these two incidents are not even the same, but it is an example of what can happen to someone's reputation over time and the negative impact that that can have on the people who continue to associate themselves with someone who has been deemed problematic. And in our last bit of news though, let's find out why Jake Paul attacked an NBA mascot. While attending a Houston Rockets game, the problem child Jake Paul was sitting courtside for their match against the Minnesota Timberwolves. At one point, Clutch, the Rockets mascot, approached Jake wearing a robe and 2 giant red boxing gloves. The mascot, having some fun, playfully offered to fight Jake Paul. But things took a turn for the worse when out of nowhere, Jake just smacked Clutch with a right hand, sending him to the floor. The knockout was followed by audible gasps from the crowd, with 0 fans cheering on the violence that just took place against their favorite mascot. He was even down on the floor for a while before eventually being carried off the court so the game could continue. Despite many thinking that this was staged though, it was not immediately clear if this was the case or not. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this though, because that's all the time we have for today. So stay classy, and I'll see you on the next one.